Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the Nikko Jenkins case? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I'll put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. So first I'll cover the background of Nikko Jenkins, I'll move to the timeline of the crime, and then I'll talk about the mental health and personality factors. Starting with the background, Nikko Jenkins was born on September 16, 1986 in Colorado, but he grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. In 1993, when he was 7 years old, he carried a loaded .25 caliber semi-automatic pistol into school. 4 years later, he admitted that on 3 separate occasions he had committed theft. Around the same time, he stopped attending school. Jenkins was sent to several group homes, but his level of violence kept increasing. In 1998, after attacking another child in the group home with a clothes hanger, Jenkins was kicked out. He was sent to a youth detention center, but they would release him to his mother not long after this. It didn't take long before Jenkins was back in the detention center after attacking someone with a knife. After being released, he threatened his father with a sawed-off shotgun and stole 2 motor vehicles using a firearm. In 2003, he would be sent to prison. He had trouble following the rules in prison. He attacked a prison guard while at his grandmother's funeral. He was involved in inciting a prison riot. He broke the regulations on tattoos. He physically attacked fellow inmates. He was involved in gangs. And he crafted a weapon using a toilet brush. He served about 10 years in prison. He was released on July 30, 2013. Now moving to the timeline of the crimes. August 11, 2013. In Omaha, Nebraska, the police discover a pickup truck near a swimming pool in Spring Lake Park at about 5 a.m. In the vehicle are the bodies of 2 men. Both had sustained gunshots to the head. Jenkins did not know these victims. It appears as though he was trying to rob them. The body of a man named Curtis Bradford is found near a garage on August 19 at 7 a.m. He had been shot twice in the back. The day before his murder, Bradford had posed with Jenkins for a picture that would go on Facebook. Bradford knew Jenkins from prison. They had been there together. It is believed that Jenkins told Bradford that they could commit a robbery together, and then Jenkins shot him. This highlights the shortcomings of staying active in the Prison Alumni Association. Some contacts are better off not having. On August 21, the police respond to a call indicating gunshots were fired. At 2:15 a.m., they discover the body of a woman named Andrea Kruger lying in the road. She had been shot several times. Her motor vehicle, a 2012 Chevrolet Traverse, was found at 6:30 p.m. It was about 12 miles away. Jenkins would be arrested on August 30, but his charges were not related to any of the 4 homicides. He was charged with making terroristic threats. His girlfriend turned him in after he threatened to kill her and said that he would send demonic forces to her mother's residence. The police did suspect Jenkins of committing the murders. They found surveillance footage of the Chevrolet Traverse and of a woman buying ammunition similar to what was used in the crimes, specifically 12-gauge shotgun slugs. Jenkins was interviewed by the police for 8 hours, during which he confessed to committing the 4 murders. He claimed that the murders were sacrifices to a deity named Apophis. This is based on an Egyptian belief system that goes back to ancient times. Apophis is featured in the television series Stargate SG-1, which ran from 1997 to 2007. It's possible that this is where Jenkins actually found the reference. Jenkins was charged with murder and tried. At his trial, he caused several disruptions during the proceedings, including laughing at the details of the murders, howling, and speaking in tongues. He stuck with the story that he was under the command of Apophis. He was found guilty of all 4 murders, once again demonstrating the limited utility of the unpopular "and ancient Egyptian god told me what to do" defense. Several years later, Jenkins was sentenced to death and 450 years in prison. It's not clear how he's going to fulfill both sentences. I guess the state's going to have to choose one. Now moving to the mental health and personality factors. Jenkins sued the state of Nebraska, saying that they never should have let him out of prison. He claimed that the prison staff repeatedly ignored his claims, that Apophis was giving him orders. He said that he had schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and obsessive-compulsive disorder. He said he was diagnosed with these when he was around 8 or 9 years old. He also claimed that the solitary confinement made his schizophrenia worse. The mental health professionals were all over the place with diagnoses in this case. This is exceedingly common with these types of high-profile murder cases. Some said he had schizophrenia, others said antisocial personality disorder, a few said that he had both disorders, along with post-traumatic stress disorder. Some believed that Jenkins was faking psychosis, and others believed he was really psychotic. On an IQ test, he scored 69. The standard deviation for an IQ test is 15 points, so he's over 2 standard deviations below the mean. If one regards IQ as an adequate measure of intelligence, Jenkins would be less intelligent than 98% of the population. In prison, Jenkins essentially said that he was trying to game the system. He was faking symptoms to embarrass the court. It's common that the court views those types of statements as leaning toward antisocial personality disorder and as leaning away from some type of psychotic disorder. But somebody can have either disorder and say that they're faking it. They can say they're just pretending to be mentally ill. Just saying that doesn't really point to one disorder or the other. People who are psychotic say all kinds of things that are not necessarily true. It's like people are cherry-picking certain words and saying, oh, look, he must not be psychotic. But if they just looked at his claims about working for Apophis, they might think he was psychotic. So the entire clinical picture must be viewed, not just certain pieces. It's worrisome to me that in such a serious case, where a lot of money is being spent to get professionals who are competent at diagnosing, we still can't get any type of agreement. There is a massive difference between faking psychosis and being psychotic. This is not a small detail. I also find it interesting that some of the psychotic disorder diagnoses, like schizophrenia, occurred prior to his release from prison. So it's like they're saying, look, this guy is psychotic, but then he commits a crime, and they're saying, oh, wait, we meant antisocial personality disorder, right? Who mentioned psychosis? We don't remember saying that. That seems pretty convenient if the system is trying to convict somebody and sentence them to death. After Jenkins was sentenced, his behavior remained consistent with psychosis. He said he did not kill the 4 people. He believes he will go to Cuba and make nuclear weapons. And he says he needs to be killed so he can be resurrected. He tried to bring an end to his own life on 2 occasions. He self-harmed several times using razor blades, making the prison rethink its razor blade for every inmate initiative. At one point, he tried to carve the number 666 into his head, but he did so in a mirror, so it didn't really turn out right. It was backwards. I have seen ambulances where the word ambulance was written on the hood backwards, so you could read it in a rearview mirror. Maybe that's the look that Jenkins was going for. Jenkins has been described as psychopathic, manipulative, grandiose. He certainly committed a number of crimes. He seems impulsive and irresponsible. I can understand where professionals are getting the antisocial personality disorder. What I find difficult to believe is that he only has that disorder and not some type of psychotic disorder. Ultimately, though, it doesn't actually matter as far as the public is concerned. Jenkins can never be released from prison. It's just a matter of what type of treatment he receives. It's been reported that Jenkins is getting married to a 46-year-old woman named Dawn Arguella Chavez. She wouldn't confirm or deny the engagement, but she did say that Jenkins was an enigma. He has feelings, he's very sensitive, he's very intelligent, and he's very manipulating. Getting engaged to Jenkins really redefines lowering the bar when looking for a romantic partner. It's hard to imagine somebody could look at him and say, well, I could have done worse. Apparently, Jenkins has tattooed the name Dawn on his head. She was not happy about this. I get the sense that Jenkins uses tattoos on his head like other people use an Etch-a-Sketch. One last area I want to discuss with Jenkins was something I found interesting about his family. Evidently, they are well known to authorities. Jenkins' great-great-grandfather was a man named Levi Levering. Since 1979, 38 descendants of Levering have been convicted of 633 crimes in Omaha, Nebraska. There were 112 drug charges, 86 thefts, 35 assaults, and many other types of crimes, including 160 convictions for driving without a license. I guess one can say that Jenkins had a lot to live up to, and he exceeded expectations. Those are my thoughts on the Nikko Jenkins case. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis on this topic to be interesting. Thanks for watching.